Warhammer with Sheep here, Game 3, Winter War Tournament, final game, and I am on the corn table up against some Lizardmen. This is Keith's Lizardman, and he is rocking a mighty hard bus of 5 Scarvets and an Old Blood, and a Party Slam. And he's got 4 Skink Clouds and a lot of skirmishing units with poison shots, but I've got the Dark Elf Hurt that's going to be put on them. So, let's take a look at the scenario and how we deploy. So the scenario is kill your opponent's most expensive unit. And this becomes critical as to who wins throughout the game. Keith was interpreting it as, if I bundle all my characters into one unit and make this the most expensive, then that's the unit he's going to have to kill. Whereas we should have probably got some clarification from our TO earlier, and it was the most expensive unit on our army roster. So not necessarily who is put in what unit. And so we should have clarified that, because my Sorceress on a Pegasus is my most expensive unit, and his most expensive unit is his Party Slam, and it's not necessarily the unit that they are in. So pay attention to that, but otherwise this game is really just run at you and smash face. So he has got 4 Scarvets and an Old Blood inside this Cold 1 bus. He's got a few Saurus units with his Slan. He's got a Skink Priest level 1 on Heavens, I believe. And he's got 12 skirmishing Skinks. On my side, this was the Dawn attack scenario. So everyone rolled up and was, placed wherever. We did not want necessarily his units placed on the far left side, but that's the way it goes. My Dark Riders are claiming this terrain piece, so that's going to be their 1 point and their only objective for the game. Dark Shards are behind this wall. Pegasus is here. Bolt Thor, Warlock bus with Master, BSB, and a Dreadlord. Another Bolt Thor, more Dark Shards, and another Bolt Thor. On our right flank, we have a unit of 10 Warlocks, and I also have a unit of Dark Riders, which you do not see. They are over here claiming this terrain piece, and that is their goal for the whole tournament. And then we have a couple more Skink Clouds over here on their far right. So we are fairly spread out. My goal is to mop up this right side as soon as possible with magic missiles, doom bolts from these warlocks, and maybe a charge if I can get it, or if he doesn't flee, maybe I can push him off the table. So that's my goal, that's my thinking. I didn't really take a picture of the spells that I got, but I did get Searing Doom, and I did get Final Trans, and I think I had a few that didn't really come into play, maybe like Glittering Scales, or Glittering Robe, or Enchanted Blades, something like that. My first turn, I do get first turn, so I'm not really sure what to do. So I move my Sorceress over here, and everything shoots. Dark Shards move up to go up against the wall. Everything shoots. I kill off a few Skinks, because I'm not even in range to magic. I didn't even move up that far. We labeled everything as, certain things impassable. You can't climb over top of these statues or these rocks, but this you can run over. And this actually plays a huge role in the game. So we have a look at his damage. 5 Skinks down, not too bad. His Skinks move up just to get into short range. I actually vanguarded these guys, but forgot to move them up in my range to start doing spells, and I was just outside of my Doom Bolt range, so I was kind of kicking myself, but it all works out for me in the end on that side. We have his Skink Cloud advancing, and this is critical. Keith's a really good player, and I think he was going to bait me, and I think he knew exactly what he was doing when he placed his units here. You'll see in just a moment. And me, like a sucker, I fall for the bait. So he moves 2 Scarvets, or maybe 3 Scarvets. That might have been an Old Blood. I think it's 3 Scarvets, though, into the Saurus unit, beefing that unit up, making it a little bit more combat punchy. We have 2 Scarvets, and we have the Old Blood in here, and then we have his command. They actually are marched, and they are up here with these 3 red rubies as indicating that this is the front arc of them. And this is key, because it's so difficult to know and to kind of visualize where this bus is in relation to other things when it's just these 3 markers. And he did put this guy up here, which I should have paid more attention to, but I don't know. In my mind, I was thinking these guys were still back there, and I don't know why. And his magic face, he gets off Throne of Vines. Why not? Because he's a life slan, and that's an amazing spell. It buffs up all your other spells, and I just forgot how powerful it actually is. So that is the end of Lizardman turn 1. Everything's sort of advanced here. Now on my turn, I ain't getting charged. So I do declare a charge. I think they flee. when I redirect, and they flees again on that side. Some more repositioning over here. I do make a declared charge, and this was my mistake. I think this is great. I can't kill these stinking skinks with shooting because of their skirmish. I am going to have to kill them with magic missiles or combat. And like a fool, I decided my Dreadlord is super killy, and I have a few masters in here. They're also pretty killy. I'm going to smash these guys and run right through them and maybe get into the Slan unit. You know, face some of those Scarvets, one-on-one, mono-a-mono. Not a good idea. So these guys fled and ran away. I decided to chase these skinks. I caught them and reformed like so. And then I'm going to magic missile those other skinks. Here we have a look at combat. I move my sorceress over, and at this point I'm like, oh yeah, I'm definitely out of their line of sight. I could be over here and still be out of their line of sight, but here I am trying to be out of line of sight from here, and it just wasn't seen. And like a Warhammer noob, I fall for the trap. But I do attempt to final trans this Cold One bus. Figured that was going to be a good spell, but he uses his Dispel Scroll. I destroy those skinks before they even knew what hit them, and I overrun into the next ones. And you notice how he just left just enough. I wonder why. Why wouldn't you put them back to back? Oh, you see what's coming. The pain train. So here we have a look at the board. Not much to shoot at once I've killed the skinks, and these Saurus are a bit far away for a lot of my shots to even be really effective. And well, bam! There is the super easy flank charge and the super combo charge with the Saurus, who also have Scarvets in there. There's a lot of hurt that's going to be put on this Warlock unit. Now I'm relying on a 4-up save, but when you get so many attacks and so many wounds, there's only so much you can save. Good news is I did Doom Bolt the heck out of these skinks, and they're off the board, so I could do freed up my right flank. But here's a look at the combat shot. We have a BSB, we have a few other Scarvets, and Old Blood's in here somewhere. That is a token to indicate that they are, I think, -1 to hit. One of the spells. He does get off, he has Shield of Thorns as well as Flesh to Stone on this unit, which is important because, like a boss, I issue challenges, but up against an Old Blood or Scarvet. These challenges, when they are toughness 9, means squat when I'm strength 7. So my poison attacks really didn't get through. I decided to allocate most of my attacks on the skinks since they were easier to kill. But like it was going to make a difference. This combat resolution was just far too high to begin with, just on their standard combat res. I have no ranks. I just have a BSB. But he does have the War Banner. So kudos for me for trying something that's suboptimal. Thanks to tell myself. Warlocks all die. These guys are in a challenge. It's a pity more of them couldn't attack. Lucky for me, I managed to flee. He does have one skink left. And I flee, like so, and these guys pursue, but do not catch me. Thank goodness I'm fast cav. This was a huge help to me. So, on my turn, I decide to rally, and I thought I could move again, but apparently I couldn't. So I stand here, and I kind of angle myself in such a way that if these guys were going to charge me, these guys couldn't get into combat because this guy is not going to let them close the door, and there's impassable terrain here. So I was only going to get the brunt of his force from his Cold One unit, which I promptly Soul Blighted. Anything that's going to give me some help. Now this unit's the one that has Flesh to Stone, so I am shooting everything at this unit. And we got all crossbowmen going in there, we got 3 bolt throwers going in there, and I do take off a lot of Cold One riders. But it's not enough. On his turn, he does charge in, as to be expected. And he puts a wound on my Dreadlord. Darn. And he does get off Flesh to Stone on this unit. I don't know what I was thinking. I probably tried to dispel it, but probably didn't throw enough dice like a chump. Master goes down to his Scarvets. Man, they're killy, especially when they're toughness 9. So he flees, and my Dreadlord is caught this time. And no! He was my super awesome killy thing. Good news, I do have a nice, flank shots for my bolt throwers and my Warlock unit. I don't know why this guy's here. I don't think he's actually supposed to be here. He's probably in the dead pile. Is coming up from the flank, this other Warlock unit. So, not looking too good for the Dark Elves. Kane has abandoned me. All he really has left is these two units. But those are some mighty difficult units to deal with. So my Sorceress moves up here to get into better magic range and things like that. So I do get off a Searing Doom. Wha-bam! And I kill a few Scarvets, which I'm very happy about. This guy had a 2-up ward against Flaming, so he survives. But will he survive bolt throws to the face? Of course. You're a toughness 9. Yeah, there's not much you are afraid of. Out of the line of sight, so whew, that was pretty convenient. But he just marches up. He does a nice long charge, not even that long really, to this bolt thrower, angled in such a way that he's going to overrun to those dread dark shards. Here we have this unit moving up. The skink chaffed up my warlocks up here, but I charge them and easily reform so I can get a rear charge. I attempt a final trans, and Keith's dice say no final trans. So I'm not really sure what to do, because these heroes are just going to go ram into my units one after another and just clean up. So I gotta kill this guy's most expensive unit. And that's the Slan. I knew it was the Slan. I thought it might have been the Old Blood. I probably should have asked Keith, but I didn't. And that's why I was directing so much of my attacks. I believe this was an Old Blood. If it's not an Old Blood and it's just a really beefy Scarvet, wow, awesome. Good for him. I am steadfast, so I do weather a round of a charge. He moves his other Scarvet out here like this to probably take out this bolt thrower. And then he moves and wheels just like this, because this is his general. It has fortitude. I believe this might have actually be his BSB. I was under the impression that it was his Old Blood, but it might have been his BSB. He's moving up here just to claim pieces of terrain for the end of the game, because it's getting down to the final turns. Here we have a look at the unit. I'm slinging away my shots and magic at it, but it's not enough. These guys go down to that Scarvet. Final trans again. My one last hope on my magic phase to get this unit. Needed a 6 to roll a multi-wound Slan to turn him into gold. And the Sorceress does it. I zap his Slan, and that's really what's going to be a deciding factor for the game. So, super lucky. This Scarvet, I think, failed a charge to that bolt door. Oh, no, excuse me. It makes it, of course. This Scarvet decides to restrain, and then he just reforms and then marches over here to claim this piece of terrain. And really, that's the end of the game. He kills my bolt thrower, and I've got a bolt thrower, and I got 2 Dark Rider units holding terrain pieces, but in the middle, he's got all his points left from his Saurus. And I did get the Cold One unit, or the Cold One bus, but he does got a lot of his characters on the board, so I actually think I may have beat him on victory points, or it might have been really close. But objective-wise, he didn't get my most expensive unit, which was my Dark Pegasus, and I did get his Slan, so that was pretty good. So we ended up getting an actual draw, because it went down to victory points, actually, I think. And maybe he did beat me by victory points. I think he did. I remember feeling quite heartily spanked after this tournament, or after this game. But it was a lot of fun. Definitely like to play this list again. I think I would have sat back a little bit more and done a little bit more of a 6 dice final trans every magic base I could get, just to see what I could get if there is any more lucky 6s. But I really don't know how else to deal with them with these units. But there you have it. There's the end of the report. In the tournament overall, I came in 6th, which is pretty good. Almost in the top quarter, so that's pretty good for me, considering I'm usually in the bottom corner. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.